Hiya and welcome to the Redmen TV. It is the uncensored match build-up as Liverpool head to Turkey to face Galatasaray once again. I'm delighted to be joined by Ian and Ste for this one. And let's get straight into it. As always, we will start with Galatasaray, the away, well, not the away team, but in my head, the away team. It's not Liverpool. Ste, we've seen this before. Sadly, it wasn't a great memory for us. What I will say is, we did lose 1-0 away at their ground, but it was with a dodgy penalty that they managed to get. But all wins count, and they'll definitely be using that previous game as, some fuel at how to get at Liverpool, because they did get us that night. Yeah,
they'll be confident. I saw Osman, didn't he, say Liverpool will be after revenge, so they'll be wary of that as well. I think the biggest thing facing them in their place, the team's pretty good. They're a decent team. Yeah. They're not amazing. They've got some good players. I think it's just the place and the atmosphere and dealing with all that as well. Liverpool... On I think 0-0, maybe 1-0. Liverpool miss a chance, don't you? I think Kanate misses one in that game. Liverpool, either way, it was a bit of a soft penalty. Sometimes it goes your way. We then go to Milan and get a soft penalty. So it was one of those games, unfortunately, like too often this year, Chloe, where Liverpool play on the margins, where the margins are so thin that all it takes is a lucky bounce or a dodgy penalty decision or something going against you. That's been this game our season summed up too often. So. Yeah, I watched Galatasaray play Juventus. I've seen them, they drew with Atletico Madrid. Going to Istanbul to face Galatasaray is never going to be easy. But I don't think there are too many actual players in their team who you are terrified of. They've got some good players and they can score goals. They've got goal scorers, but it's not the team that is probably the biggest influence in this game. I think going to that stadium and going to Turkey once again, because the people I know who went last time said it was deafeningly loud, and you're going to have to deal with that again. And that does, like you talk about dodgy decisions, that influences officials sometimes, that kind of thing. So it's not going to be easy. Liverpool got a decent draw in terms of the level of the team, but the first leg at their place, it's not going to be easy tomorrow. Yeah,
but I guess in this sense, Liverpool have the opportunity to get that revenge that Osman is so concerned about. And if they were already talking about it the other day, before the draw was even made, he's coming out and said, I'd rather not have Liverpool. It actually makes you think, okay, they're a little bit fearful here. Yet they've got that win. But once again, it's still Liverpool rocking up to town, Ian.
It's not just the name, is it, though? Because you look at us man for man, we should be better than Galatasaray. The problem is we've not really been at it this season, although... I said this last week, just before we got beat by Wolves, but we've a bit better form. We're playing better now with a different Liverpool than what we were when we played Galatasaray last time. So, because of where it is, I'm normally a guy who says we need to win every game, but I'd take a low score draw tomorrow. I'd take a 1-1 or 0-0, take it back to Anfield.
Yeah, do you reckon it changes our approach, or does it change anything about the game? The fact that these two sides literally did meet, in the league phase. Does that change the way Liverpool approach this game or Galatasaray?
Liverpool needs to be careful. Like, we like to start... As fans, I see Liverpool start quick. We need to make sure that that revenge thing isn't there. We don't do anything stupid in the first 5-10 minutes, because this season we have been really poor at giving big chances away early on. So we just need to try and keep it as 0-0 as long as possible for me tomorrow.
Yeah, and Ste, look, we speak about Galatasaray and how it can be intimidating to go to their ground. I think it's going to be even more intimidating for the main reason of, and if no one knows this, they can't bring fans to Anfield. So there you will be looking at this game, and where Ian mentioned then, maybe for Liverpool, it's not actually, you need to win this game. It's take a draw back to Anfield. For them, they'll be needing to take some sort of advantage, because to go to Anfield and not have your away fans there, that's even more a kick to the teeth to them. So they'll be right up to try and get something out of this first leg.
Yeah, and they're a good home team, and they're not an amazing away team in Europe. They took 3 goals to Juventus and against 10 players, and very nearly threw that one away. By the end, they were hanging on a little bit, with that comfortable lead. So, absolutely for them. They even like a 1-0 win for them, they might be uneasy. If Liverpool, I hope they don't, but if Liverpool lost 1-0 again, I still back us to overturn that at Anfield. I think Galatasaray, I think that is what makes it a bit different tomorrow compared to that first game. Actually, a draw, and their record up to that point at home actually hadn't been particularly great either. They hadn't been amazing at home in Europe. It's changed a little bit since then with some decent results, but in that game I think they'd have took a 0-0 and they squeak a 1-0. I think their approach needs to change because I think they need at least a few goals to come to Anfield. Even 2-0, I still think they'd be wary. So I think you might get more of an attack in Galatasaray. At least if I was them, that's what I would want if I was their supporters. I don't think they don't need a tight win or something. A 1-0 for them, I'm not sure that's going to cut it. Again, go back to it. I watched the game against Juventus. They were poor and they half bottled it. It was only actually I think Gundogan come on later on and helped them calm things down. Which
it was extra time where they managed to
and it was extra time against 10 men, and that's a big difference. Exactly. We saw that at the weekend for Chelsea in the FA Cup. The team with 10 really need to do it in 90 minutes. If it goes to extra time, they're probably going to be struggling. So I think that's what the main difference will be. I think they'll be much more aggressive on the front foot. What that should lead to in terms of their fans is the atmosphere, or for them, the atmosphere going even harder.
For us trying to pick them off.
Liverpool will need to be a bit more wary of that. I think we're probably going to get more of a front-footed Galatasaray than we got in that league phase game.
Yeah, and look, talk about front-footed. They've got Osimhen there, they've got Leroy Sané there, they've got Icardi there. You mentioned Gundogan. They've got, some decent attacking players who a lot of people may think past it or use those kind of words, but they're still footballers who have so much experience at the top level. Osimhen in that Juventus tie, he bullied them. He bullied them absolutely everywhere. He was fuming that in the second leg he didn't get, I think the first leg maybe he didn't get any goals in that game. It was everybody else around them. But, he's still a big focal point for them. And he really can influence this game. They've got the attacking players. You've just got to hope that, for Liverpool, we stand strong.
Yeah, Osimhen's a really, really good player. There's not many better than him in this position in the world. But yet again, I go back to when we played them last time. Kanate wasn't on it then. I thought Kirkes, that was with the power where Kirkes was struggling. Our defence has improved, I think, massively the last couple of months. So I'm not dreading it as much as I may have been a couple of months ago. So yeah, like I said, I think we'll be okay.
I hope so. And like you mentioned, Ste, there's actually, in that league phase, they actually only have to think about this game and nothing else, where both teams now will be looking at the bigger picture and knowing that, just because what happens in the first leg doesn't mean tie over. You can lose a tie, you can't win a tie in the first leg. I think, like you mentioned there, Galatasaray will be wanting to bring something back to Liverpool because they didn't have to do this the first time round. They didn't have to come and face Anfield and know, what it was like to be under the lights, and, Liverpool have something to fight for and really go at. So I'm with Ian in the sense of, look, I think it can be a dangerous place to go because of the atmosphere, but 2 legs changed my complexion on how I think Liverpool are going to do, because under Arne Slot, actually, in the Champions League over 2 legs, Liverpool aren't that bad.
No, they're pretty good. On their team as well, Osimhen's like the star who's in his prime still. They've got some star players. Sané is 30.
Who's the lad that scored against you? He got 2 in the first leg against Juve. I can't...
Lang, is it?
Lang, yeah.
He's a good player, but
he's got pace, though,
he's
and
quick.
that is...
He is very quick, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
He is of an age. But I'm talking like they're superstar players. The name recognitions. We don't watch tons of them, like most of us don't. The ones you've heard of, most of them are, like Ian said, a little bit older. But he's 27 and he's in the prime. He could have went anywhere. The fact that he's there, obviously he had the big fallout at his previous club, but he could play. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but quite often, players who leave Europe to go to Turkey, it tends to be a little bit later on in their career. Osimhen's gone there in his prime. He is a danger. He can just score a goal from nothing. He is that good. So it's definitely something that we need to keep an eye on him. Yeah. The rest of it, I think Liverpool will fancy the chance. I like Yilmaz. I think he's a good player, inconsistent, but on his day he can be good. So they have got a threat, and they have got goals in the team. We have seen that. But Osimhen's the superstar, and actually he has caused us a few issues at times. So he's the one that you're looking at via Galatasaray, I think, and or Liverpool. If Liverpool can stop him, they've got a very good chance. Yeah. because like Ian said, he is a top centre forward.
Yeah, when I said on the slot, I just sadly meant Liverpool are actually decent over two legs, because obviously the round of 16 is where Liverpool met their end last season. They did so well and then came up against PSG. This time round, they've got a more favourable side in Galatasaray. But what I will go back to is that Juventus leg, that the two legs. You know, Galatasaray score 7 goals, but they also concede 5. So you're seeing the good and the bad of Galatasaray. They've got goals in them, but my word, if you rock up there and you're able to pick them apart, you can easily get goals against them as well.
There's a bit of a mental fragility there, isn't it? Almost like a team that played in red a bit early in the season. But yeah, Liverpool will always score goals. I think the big thing is what the team he goes with and how they play. I think Salah will be going into the game with a bit of confidence now. We finally got that goal. I thought Gakpo looked really good centrally the other night. I thought he looked like he did when he was playing central for Klopp, rather than what he looked like when he's played for Slot. I'm expecting Gakpo to be on the left though anyway, with Ekitike back in. I think Ekitike can cause them troubles. Our issue is I still think we've got a lack of pace. Other than Ekitike and Rio Ingamoa, there's no real pace in our team, so we have to keep all the possession, and this is where it comes from the side to side football, because when you've got no pace, you haven't really got another option to do it. But I think I'd still take a draw.
Listen, I think Liverpool can't beat them, but if they come back having drawn, I think that would be absolutely fine. There's no away goals anyway no more, so that even that doesn't really count into it. Because sometimes the one benefit of an away team coming back to Anfield having drawn is if they score, Liverpool, that's all gone now. What we've saw against them, especially against Juventus, like they can see chances and they can see goals. I don't think they are not watertight. So Liverpool, I think in that first game, we had like 8 shots, we had 2 on target. That has to improve our attack and play. That game, Frimpong starts wide, didn't he? And then Ekitike gets a bit of an injury. It was a little bit all over the place in that first game. I think Liverpool would need to be, if we attack 20-30% better than we did in that league phase, then I do think we can cause them trouble.
Arsenal got injured then as well.
Yeah, we've just had a bit of it was a very messy game in that one. I think Liverpool, if they up it a little bit, you can cause Galatasaray problems. I think we've seen that numerous times
in all the fixtures that they've played. Okay then, well, we'll get to the Liverpool perspective on this shortly, just after this little break.
I want us to go back to being a powerful, energetic team. For me, when you've got Wirtz, who's starting to look the part in an attacking midfield role, I think almost everybody around him has got to be powerful and quick. Yeah. For me, I think we need a central midfield player. Yeah. You need pace in the wide areas. So that's what I'm talking about, going back to the Mo Salah of old, Sadio Mane, Diaz. We need energy. But just the way the way I see football, I'd always rather be a team like Arsenal, who people were saying they need to be more creative, than someone saying, we had all these creative players, but we're a bit soft. I'd always rather be that. I'd always rather be powerful and strong and, tough to beat, really, rather than the other way. So, and of course, you're trying to get that balance perfect, but I'd rather be that than probably where we are right now. When I see some games, like I watch the Nottingham Forest first half, I'm thinking, I never want to see my team play like that. Yeah.
Welcome back then. Let's do the Liverpool side of the story. Team news, I won't lie, the presser isn't until later on tonight. This is pre-recorded, just letting you know there. But what I can tell you is Wirtz played more minutes than I expected them to play the other day, which is really positive news. Training has been done, and there was no Chiesa in training at all, which, makes us all think Chiesa will not be a part of this one. But I was actually surprised by how many minutes Wirtz got the other day, and that makes me think he can do a decent chunk of this game of footballing.
Yeah, I still don't think he'll start. I think because if it was at Anfield, he might start, but I don't think he'll start tomorrow. But yeah, get more minutes in his legs. He looked a bit leggy. He looked like a guy who hadn't played a couple of games when he came on against Wolves. I'd like to see Curtis Jones get a game in that position tomorrow. Whether it happen or not, I don't know. But yeah, Wirtz, I don't think he'll start tomorrow.
I think it was telling as well. Like he did left wing, didn't he?
Yeah.
And the game was over, and pretty much. Liverpool, well, it was 2-0, and then Liverpool make it 3 very, very quickly. So I don't know. I tend to side with Ian. I think
Well, I don't think he'll start, but when in the press conference he said he might make a couple of minutes, I was thinking, okay, he might get the last 5, and that's at a push. But he came on and he had 20 odd. So, like, for me, that makes me think if Liverpool needs him in that second half of football, we're not scared to throw him on with 30 to go, 35 to go if we need him, which is a positive for us. But I was surprised by that, and the amount of minutes he got midweek Friday makes me think, okay, well, we can get some decent use out of him if he's called upon.
What I would say, it depends it was a back issue, wasn't it? I don't know what, it depends what caused it. Like sometimes Arne Slot will just throw a lad straight back in. It's worth mentioning, like muscle injuries and like the hamstrings and stuff, they've tended to ease guys back in, but it depends what the back issue, what it was and what caused it. But I tend to agree with Ian. I think he probably is on the bench and with a view maybe just starting at the weekend against Tottenham. You could do want to rush it back in, and actually I don't think that's the end of the world for Liverpool. Like I say, if it was a must-win game, maybe you do take the little chance on it, but because it's over 2 legs. But you're right, Chloe, the idea that when Arne Slot said he might get some minutes, I was thinking he's just going to be on the bench, and if Liverpool are 5-0 up, he might get 5 minutes. But I say the game was done. It wasn't done at 2-0 when he come on with 20 minutes to go. It became 3-0 very, very quickly. So they clearly trust that he's got something in his legs, which is a massive positive. We have definitely missed him. Undoubtedly we've missed him since he went out. He is the creative spark against low block teams and stuff. So yeah, it'd be nice if he gets on. If Liverpool can give someone an hour and then get half an hour of Florian Wirtz towards the end of the game, that could be a huge boost. It would be a huge boost, no doubt.
Yeah, you mentioned Curtis Jones there. He can't pick up a yellow, otherwise he would be suspended for the returning leg at Anfield. But Liverpool played on Friday, which really, really helped us out in terms of this. We've had Saturday, Sunday, Monday off, and obviously, well, when I say Monday off, we'll be flying today. But, us playing Friday has really, really helped us in this. There's a lot of teams who might have to face short turnarounds. We've managed to be that Friday night spot, and yes, it's a couple of hours earlier on the Tuesday that we kick off, but the actual rest that we get has favoured Liverpool, so we should be ready to go strong once again. And we
rested a couple of players as well. They never fully expect Kirkes to come back in, Mekatike to come back in. So some of our big players have had a rest as well. So they've had over a week off, haven't they? Which is nice. Like I said, I think we've needed it. The way we've been playing this season, we need as much space between games as we can. I'm more a guy. I've always said that Liverpool seem to struggle when they've got a big gap between games. I think we've needed it this season.
It's an advantage really, because we play Friday, they play Saturday. They win 1-0. But they're down to 10 men for, Leroy Sané got sent off after like an hour, didn't he? So they were down, they played 10 men away from home. Obviously, I know it's not that far, obviously Besiktas, I think it was, but they got legged a little bit. There's a lot of shots. Exactly, there was a lot going on there. They did fair play, to get out of there with a 1-0 when you're down 10. But that's a huge advantage for Liverpool. Friday, and by the way, that our game was dead as soon as Curtis scores, that game's over. Yeah. So we have 20 odd minutes there of chill, and they're running their nuts off on Saturday, 24 hours later with 10 men. That's massive for Liverpool. And what the gap has done actually is that it does allow you probably, if you want to go again with a few players, if it was Saturday, Tuesday, but that extra day's rest, because like you say, because we're flying today, if they'd have played Saturday, it'd have been Sunday recovery, Monday flying out, Tuesday game. That would be difficult. The Friday night football has done us a favour in that regard. So, and I'd like to say, Ian, there was a few lads there who didn't start, who I'm pretty certain will. So all in all, the scheduling for once, I always feel like Liverpool get the hard end of schedules. I mean, I think every football fan thinks that way. We just see it from the Liverpool prism that we're in. But I think on this stage, actually, the fixtures, it has done us a bit of a favour there. There's a few lads who can go again, who may not have been able to do so. Yeah,
Alexis McAllister was forced off late into that Wolves game, but thankfully Slot came out and said, he trained, it's absolutely fine, not much about that. I
was worried on that one. That didn't look good. His knee kind of got stuck in the grass, didn't it? I was thinking it didn't look great.
when we didn't really know what had happened in the away crowd, we just assumed.
He like contorted underneath.
His knee kind of stuck in the ground, and it was a kind of an awkward twist. And at first, I was thinking that didn't look amazing, but thankfully, yeah. I mean, what I would say with Alex McAllister looks like his career's ended at least once every game.
Yeah,
like he is the most painful looking man in the world. Like he would be rubbish. And my kids sometimes when they go to doctors, they have this scale of point your pain out, and it's like smiley face to red face. McAllister's the red face 10 every single time. Yeah. So
he always has 5 minutes on the deck as well. He's always rolling out. Someone always kicks him too hard.
Yeah. Something else to note, which is a little bit different to usual, is that Champions League rules dictate any player who receives 3 yellow cards or any subsequent odd number of bookings from the league stage onward is banned for the next game. Obviously, I mentioned there that Liverpool, can't allow Jones to get one, otherwise that return leg at Anfield he won't be available for. Well, the surprising part of this all is that Galatasaray have 7 players who are 1 booking away from missing that Anfield leg. So there is 7 players, including the likes of Davinson Sanchez, who obviously plays centre half. Actually, Osimhen is on one, so maybe if we can just get him a bit angry.
Mate, that 100% that would be a tactic for me.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Just one whisper in their ears and stuff like that. It goes to show, and I think why it's going to be difficult tomorrow, is that I think they know they're going to have to come at us. They need to win because there's a chance. Listen, if 7 lads are on a booking, there's a chance some of them get one.
Yeah.
And they're going to Anfield second leg with a win. I think they are going to be much more on the front foot, much more aggressive, and it's that somewhat Liverpool's team news that should probably play into our minds as well. Speaking
of them, if they do come at us with this front foot mindset, well, I actually don't mind that. I'd prefer you play that way against us, and then Liverpool have the spaces to try and pick you off. It looked like a big, I'm wrong, but it looked like a big pitch. In that first game, and I was thinking, the manager picks Frimpong on the wing, doesn't he, at the time? And I think the thinking it was that can we exploit it behind? In the end, they exploit it behind, and that's how they get the penalty. But it's definitely something that you can, if you think, can you pick them off? Yeah. It's definitely on for you there. Yeah, it is. I mean, especially with Ekitike, who had a rest as well. We knew that he wouldn't be able to play all 3, or at least 90 minutes in all 3. And we managed to keep him rested as much as possible, so that he's fit for this game and his pace as well in behind. We've got to think about that. I think for me, and I don't know about you, Liverpool just need to calm the game down for first 15 minutes and basically try and see what Galatasaray are going to throw at them. Galatasaray might not give you a minute into which, they do come out at your full force and you've got to be switched on. But Liverpool have to at least try and stay, resilient in those first 15 minutes. And then from there, you can kind of build on it. What we can't let them do is get that atmosphere up even more than what it will be become kickoff. So we really do need to try and take the crowd out of it. But actually, them coming at us, I like that better than them sitting there just hoping for a draw. To be fair, we've complained about Liverpool being boring this season. I'll probably take that tomorrow. We don't give ourselves any heart attacks. We don't need to force it tomorrow. We just need to get in there, get stuck in, wind a few of their players up, make sure Virgil winds Osimhen up, because if we can be missing for Anfield, that is a big plus. We need to be something I don't think we've been this season. We need to be a bit streetwise tomorrow. We need to be a bit on there. We need to manage the game well. Yeah, I agree with that. But also, please do come at us, because that is what I'd like to see happen. Right, let's go through your starting 11 then. There's no point in even talking about the goalkeeper because it is just Alisson Becker, even though, his kicking's not been too immense this season. Let's start with your right back then. You've got a choice of them. You've got Joey Gomez. You've got Dom, if you really want. You've obviously got Frimpong, which, he's been playing in rotation with Joe Gomez there. Who are we going with? I didn't mention Curtis Jones because in my head it's one of those 3, okay? I'm tossed between Frimpong and Szoboszlai. Oh, I'm Frimpong. It's not I can't have Sobo. I wouldn't be shocked if he did Sobo. I think the fact that Frimpong didn't play. Yeah. Gomez played 90, didn't he? And he was centre back a little bit as well. I think I would go with Frimpong. Yeah. I'd go with him, but I'm not 100% on what Slot's going to do. Yeah, I think he will go Frimpong actually as well. I think the pace. He played him the other day. Who did he start him against the other day? And I was surprised by it.
Well, he's played Wolves twice.
So Wolves, first time it must have been.
I think it'll be Frimpong.
Yeah.
I think they do have pace out on their wide positions as well, depending on who's going to, whether it's Sané, Yilmaz, there's a bit of pace there. I think, given what we saw at the week, I think Frimpong makes the most sense.
Yeah, I agree with that. The two centre halves then are just the two centre halves. There is no, I mean, Joe Gomez played 90, he's not starting.
Virgil got a rest as well.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Doesn't on happen, does it?
Wasn't long, but we'll take it. Left back then, let me tell you, Robertson made a really good case for saying pick me, but obviously he did play 90 minutes, so I would go Kirkaz here. He's the same.
I don't even think it's a doubt. I think it should be Kirkaz. And it's not agree, Robbo was good. Ask him to go again and again. Not for me, so I think I'll go back to Kirkaz.
I am absolutely sound with that. And also, it's a bit of a mad one, Steve, because Kirkaz at the start of the season, when this Galatasaray game came round, I probably went and thought, he can be a little bit rash at times. Safety, you might want to go Robertson. He's the more, he's got the experience of being in this kind of atmosphere. Now, I just absolutely adore Kirkaz, and I fully trust him now, to the point where, I think him playing in these types of games, he can keep his head and he can arguably be one of the best players on the pitch for us. So that is also a little difference in this game coming around the second time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he plays for me. I think
there's always an element of risk as well, isn't it, and reward. Like if he plays Kirkaz, and because of that many subs you can make now, if he's struggling, you can bring Robbo on in the second half. Yeah.
I think it'd be. I mean, again, Robbo's performance was good on Friday.
It did feel like midweek, though.
Yeah, well, it kind of is, isn't it? But to ask him to go again, I don't think. I think there's a reason Kirkaz didn't get a kick. Yeah. I think it's because they're getting him ready for this one on that big pitch. Like I say, if Robbo can play against Spurs at home on Sunday, Robbo might even play Galatasaray home next Tuesday. Because I like the rotation we've got. For me, it's Kirkaz plays, if it's 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4, and Robbo plays the other one, I think it's doing them both a world of good. They're both not overplaying it. And they're both staying fit, and it's a position of the pitch where we're strong in. But yeah, Robbo's performance, if the manager did start, I'm sure he'd do well again, and he's earned that if he does. But I think he'll go back to Kirkaz, and I think I would do the same, to be honest.
Yeah, let's move on to your midfield choices then. A lad who has just signed a long-term extension will most definitely be in my starting 11 at the heart and base of that. Who have you got around Ryan Gravenberch?
I think this one depends on Wirtz's fitness. Because if they just think it was like a back spasm or something and it's fine and it's settled down with some injections and there's no worry about it, I think they would be tempted to go with him, and I would be as well, because I think he's one of our best players. So it's Gravenberch and Sobbo. I think you can just nail those two down, and then he's got a choice of McAllister, Wirtz, or Curtis. This is, by the way, why he might do what Ian said and play Sobbo at right back, because he might just want all of them on the pitch. I'm gonna sit Wirtz out for now, presuming he's not ready to do 90 minutes. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. And then looking at the other two,
McAllister, isn't it?
I would play Curtis Jones because I think we keep the ball better when he plays. But McAllister, combative in that type of environment, might be what the manager. He tends to trust McAllister more. I think I would edge on the side of playing Curtis Jones because without Wirtz, you need someone who's more comfortable on the ball. But I think the manager will go with McAllister.
I'd go with Jones, but I think he'll go with Macca.
I agree with all of that. Then starting with your front three. Now, I've got to put it in there. Rio's not going to start right yet.
I do not. Don't rule it out.
Oh, okay. Don't get me excited, Ste, because it's not going to happen. It's going to be Cody Gakpo from the left.
I think so.
I'd love to see Rio, and maybe that's stupid of me because this is a game where you need all your experience and things. But honestly, I just love the energy that Rio brings. He's just not scared to take anybody on. And if you want anybody to get yellow cards, put them up against Rio, because he'll take the mick out of them.
Because of the tough weekend they've had, it might make more sense to not start and keep them on the bench, and if they're tiring towards the end, bring Rio on for half an hour.
I see your point. I think, like I say, if they're fading, Rio might get more out of being a 20-30 minute sub than he does to start. And the manager, for what it's worth, took Salah and Gap off as well, and Rio, so all three of them
That's
didn't play.
That's the thing, is I was expecting Rio to get the majority of the 90 there. I thought he wouldn't have been taken off.
I thought he was tired a bit.
And also, I think maybe they're just looking after him. It's hard to go from 2020, 2015 to 90, so maybe it's a bit of that, but I think the manager will go Gakpo, Salah, Ekitike.
Yeah.
I would play Rio. I would start him. I see the logic.
Yeah.
I also worry that Ekitike can't play 90 minutes. So there's obviously there might be a chance where Rio comes on for Ekitike and then Gakpo goes and plays centre forward. If it's me, I will have Gakpo on the bench to bring on for Ekitike. For what it's worth, there's a conversation around Salah. I definitely think there is. I don't think he was. I know he scored the last 2 games. I don't think he's played particularly well. But he's Mo Salah. He can score you a goal. He got left out, by the way, in Galatasaray last time. It was bad, which is worth mentioning. There is a world where the manager puts Gakpo or Gomez or Szoboszlai at right back and plays Frimpong on the right wing, pace in that big pitch. I think that's definitely on the cards here. But the fact that Salah got taken off handy suggests not. But I think there could be value in that. But I do believe the manager.
My hope is that like, maybe we just start trusting Rio a little bit more. So yeah, I'd love him to start. Okay, maybe he doesn't start, but maybe instead of like the 10-minute cameos where Liverpool really are desperate for a goal and you bring him on, maybe he just gets 25 and you back him and you trust him in a game of football. I think what he's showing is that in the short spells that he does play, he's doing far more in terms of causing problems and dangerous moments than Cody Gakpo is on that left-hand side. And like you mentioned, Ekitike can't necessarily play 90 all the time. So maybe he doesn't start, Ian, but maybe those 10 minutes turns into 25.
Well, our fan base has been crying out for Rio to get more minutes for months now, and people seem to be switching to the fact that we want to start, and a lot of us don't. We just want, like what you just said, we just want to get him to 30 minutes instead of 10. We want to give him so we can have a proper effect on the game instead of just getting brought on when we're throwing everything in the kitchen sink of the team because we're struggling. I think he'll do that now. I think because he's come in and he's played the way he played in the FA Cup, and I think he got like 30 minutes of the game before, didn't he? He got on. I think he's starting to trust him a little bit more. I don't know whether it's out of necessity because of the injuries, but I think he's going to be 20, 30 minutes now. I think we've seen the end of 10 5-minute Rio cameos. I think the manager trusts him now, which is massive. But I also think, and this is something we don't think about, they will also be thinking long term, and they'll have all of the data and stuff like this on Rio and Gamoura. I've said it a few times, so apologies, but like Arne Slot said a few weeks ago, he doesn't even do every training session because they're still looking after his body and stuff. So I don't think if he's not playing, it's because the manager isn't trusting him in terms of like he's too young. I think the way he spoke about him recently was, you know, he's come on, but he's developed more to a point where he can. I do think it's more about managing the minutes of him as well. So yeah, you're right. The question is, are you better giving him 60 minutes from the start against a fresh team where you might get a bit more out of him, or are you better bringing him on against tired legs and see where the game's at? So they are both valid options. If it was me and he was fine, I would start him because that's exciting. And also, he offers a threat, both sides. He's more at this moment in time. He just looks a better player than Cody Gakpo's been playing, and I don't think that's a stretch to say. But he was on the right. He looked better than Salah as well. Forest.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, you're not wrong. Both Liverpool have had major issues this year. I think out wide. I think it's been one of the biggest issues that we've had all season, and he looks like he can fix it. So I will pick him provided he was fine. But European away, Galatasaray, just haven't played that. I agree with you guys. He's probably going off the bench, but I hope he's off the bench for like half an hour. Yeah. 15 minutes. The problem with 15 minutes, he might touch the ball 4 times. And the way he plays, he's going to give it away half the time because he's going to have a run at you. And he might run into a blind alley or he might get tackled. But if you give him half an hour and he can have 10 goes at someone, he'll beat them twice, 3 times probably. And he'll do a bit of magic. So I hope it's longer. I tend to think what will happen is he'll come on for Ekitike at some point and Gakpo will end up playing centre forward.
You know what, that's one of the disappointing things for me, because what I want to see more of is Rio on the pitch with Ekitike, and we haven't really seen that.
That's why I want to start him, because I thought against Wolves both times actually, when he come on and when he started, he lacked the centre forwards who can link up. Ekitike looks different over there as well. It would be hugely exciting to get Gakpo, to get him in Gamoura and Ekitike on the pitch together in that left hand side. You could even potentially have Florian Wirtz, and we're all really, really excited. So I would like to see that. I agree. I think it would be nice to get them both on the pitch at the same time, see how it works. We've had no evidence of it. But he is if you're picking a form team, Rio would be in it. I just don't know physicality wise he's ready.
Yeah, well, let's see what happens. No matter whether, you know, he does start or he comes off the bench, I can understand the reason as to why. Because like you said, Galatasaray are going to absolutely smash her in 50-50s wherever they can. They're going to be right up for it. So if you want to protect the lads, I totally get it in that sense. I am going to ask for your predictions and your goal scorers. But before I do, let's take a look at the Champions League games then. Liverpool face Galatasaray. It's the 5:45 kickoff tomorrow. Then the 8 p.m s, let's look at them. It is Newcastle who host Barcelona. That is on the other side of the draw, sadly. Atletico Madrid host Spurs at 8 p.m. tomorrow, also sadly on the other side of the draw. And Atalanta v Bayern, which is our side of the draw, but they don't face us until if we get to like the semi-final. So what one are you watching there? It's Newcastle Barca, right?
Yeah.
Can I just say, like, Spurs.
Isn't it mad?
you know that meme of the polar bear in the desert? That's what I would say, to be fair.
What's the Dragons where one of them is just clearly not in the group?
What I would say is that actually Tottenham's European record's good.
Yeah.
They won the UEFA League last year, Europa League rather, and now they've got through. They came fourth in the group stage. So to be fair to Tottenham, their European form is great. It's just when they were going for the Europa League and they were down the bottom of the Premier League, it was kind of like, yeah, sound, because the Premier League's so strong. And they were never getting relegated last year. The bottom three were so bad. Like, Tottenham might get relegated this year, and they're about to play a Champions League last 16, having just been beat by Crystal Palace, where the captain gets sent off. The crowd are going bananas. They hate this new manager who's only been there for 3 days. It's just so bizarre to see Tottenham. And now they've got to go and get Simeone in Madrid. It just feels like for them.
Also, it's the Conor Gallagher derby, because he's now back there at Atleti, because his wife wanted to move due to the fact that, you know, it was Spain. And it
would be very Tottenham to win. Like, in Europe, it would be mental. But
when people are saying how weak the Premier League is now, people are just putting the Spurs. Going Spurs, you might be getting relegated.
There are 6 Premier League teams playing over the next couple of weeks.
It's not weak; it's just more boring. The Premier League is what I'd say.
But yeah, that just made me laugh.
The fact that, but I'm not sure what to expect. Like, if you'd have said Tottenham v and inserted any Premier League team, I'd have gone, even Wolves, I'd have gone, oh yeah, Premier League, like the opposition wins that. But like Atletico Madrid v Tottenham, I just think it's going to be a really horrendous game to watch, potentially, because
I think the pressure's off in that game as well for Spurs, isn't it? Because no one's expecting anything from Spurs in that game, are they?
No, but like, they've got to keep shutting a laugh.
All I'd say, that it depends what they are. Again, if their aim is to stay up, they'd be half better just getting knocked out.
Yeah.
But it's hard to say that to a player and to the manager, go and get yourselves knocked out.
And also, to think about it, half of those players are probably thinking, okay, where's my next destination when these go down at the end of the season?
It might be, might be in Spain,
might be in Madrid.
Van
de Ven is thinking Liverpool, even though he did get red carded the other day. Anyway, Wednesday fixtures then. Leverkusen v Arsenal is the earlier kickoff. I won't be tuning in. PSG v Chelsea, tasty. That is who we will face next if we get through. So that's a tasty game at 8 p.m. on Wednesday. Then Bodo Glimt v Sporting. One that, like, I'm not going to necessarily watch, obviously, but also, like, we'll keep a little eye on it, because Bodo Glimt are just...
They're the story.
I think Bodo are going to beat them. I think Bodo are going to go through.
Just really cute.
They're the story. Yeah, fair play to them on the plastic pitch and in the Arctic Circle. The problem they're getting now is that obviously it's getting warmer now, so like it is a tougher challenge, but they've done all this in their off season. Like, they're only just coming back to pre-season. It's a fabulous story. I will probably watch Chelsea PSG because Liverpool get the winner. And I think, well, again, the nightmares of facing Chelsea in a European Cup quarter final bring back both good and painful memories of the early 2000s. But we've got to be hoping Chelsea get through that one.
Yeah,
you've got to. Like, I know PSG aren't quite the same.
I think Chelsea will get through, for what it's worth.
It'll be tough because they're not good, particularly.
No, they're not.
But
João Pedro is an absolute joke.
He's on fire at the minute. But yeah, I mean, PSG have got a few of them as well. To be fair.
Well, if PSG v Chelsea or Bodo Glimt v Sporting didn't tickle your fancy, you have the choice to watch Real Madrid v Manchester City.
I think that game's happened. I've seen
7 times at least. least in the last 2 years in my brain.
I have seen that too much. They play each other more than Premier League teams. I've
cracking games, haven't they? I've been cracking games where,
it's been done.
There was one where like it was really boring, and I think Real Madrid did absolutely nothing, and then it got to penalties and Rudiger scored the final penalty or something. But Real Madrid v City will be tasty as well. I don't know who to watch out of PSG, Chelsea and Real Madrid City. It might be a dual watch, one on the iPad, one on the TV kind of night.
Picture in picture.
I feel like I'm scouting. I've got no influence whatsoever, but for some reason I feel like I need to watch PSG Chelsea, because what I need is that if PSG win, I need to see some vulnerabilities that make me feel better about myself. Oh, they've got an issue there. Kvaratskhelia doesn't quite look as good. I mean, it's still fantastic.
Yeah. Also, by the way, I've just clicked on PSG to see who, like, have they had any injuries. I didn't know that they were only 1 point at the top of their table. Lons are only 1 point behind them, so you know what, fair play to them.
They've missed Dembele a lot, haven't they? As well. Yeah,
they lost to Monaco last time out as well, which is just, it's all a little bit mad. And they still play Kvaratskhelia, Barcola and Douay as their front three.
We did say we think Chelsea might. I mean, Chelsea just beat Wrexham. Like just.
You know what I mean? Very good point. Yeah, that is all true. Well, now that we've gone through the fixtures, then I am here to get your score predictions and your goal scorers, please, Ian.
I said I'd take a draw, but I predicted another draw, so I'm going to say Liverpool 1-0.
Okay, I'll take that. Who's scoring?
Going to go a late one, Wirtz off the bench.
I was thinking it in my head. Ste?
2-0, I think we're going to win. And I think Ekitike scores both of them.
Oh, cute.
I think that spacing behind thing, he is lethal one-on-one, and I think we'll get a chance at it. So I think 2-0. But it's going to be tough. Anything's possible. I hope Liverpool just need to get back to Anfield in the tie. That's it. Like, if they get beat by the odd goal, it's not horrendous. We saw the other day, Galatasaray just about defended the 3-0 lead, but Liverpool don't do that. But I think whatever happens, I don't think Liverpool need to lose their heads. And I think also that's worth mentioning, like, if they are drawing or even getting beat 1-0 late in the game, I don't think I'd expect them to be going hell for leather, for a winner or for an equaliser. I think they'll be confident if it's close going back to Anfield next week, especially, like I say, with no travelling fans. I think Liverpool will fancy themselves in the second leg, so no need to panic. But I do think we'll score a couple of goals.
I'll go with 2-1 Liverpool. I reckon Galatasaray will push and get one, but I think Liverpool will be taking.
We've all missed a taking. I'm not saying a Van Dijk header. They seem to be having quite a bit lately, don't they?
Yeah.
Kanate loves in the latter stages of the Champions League to get a header. He scored against Benfica home and away, didn't he? He loves a header away from him. Maybe
I pick Hugo Ekitike, who doesn't score headers.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say that he is not a great.
You must get high odds on him scoring a header for the game.
I think his hair is too nice that he doesn't worry about it. But
he's not a fan of them.
He closes his eyes when he heads the ball, doesn't he?
Yeah, he defo thinks it's going to like mess up his trim or something.
Yeah, that's so maybe if there's going to be a header, I don't know if my
maybe it's not going to be Hugo Ekitike on the end of it. But we have all gone with Liverpool wins, and I will absolutely take that. Thank you so much for watching or listening this. Have a lovely rest of your day, and until the next one, up the Reds.